Hello everybody, Ethan here. When it comes to the god machines wielded by the Imperium of Man and Chaos alike, there is no instrument of war as deadly as a Titan. Now, going over this, I just want to touch briefly on each type. Some of these do not have a lot of information given about them, so it's going to be kind of hit and miss for some of these. But these are some of my favorite things. I love the big stompy boys, and I wish they were more useful in 40k. As it stands right now, the Warhound Scout Titan is the only one you can really field in a 2k game, and even then you only got like 900 points to play around with beside it. Everything else is you're pushing Armageddon type games. But without further ado, let's get into it. Starting out first with the Rapier Scout Titans. These were predominantly used during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy, and they're next to non-existent in lore now. Even during the final years of the Horus Heresy, they were next to non-existent. These are much smaller than a Warhound Titan, and from what I can read, they're similar in size to an Imperial Knight, just a little bit bigger. And yeah, they were pretty much wiped out through combat. They're just a Scout Titan. They're not much in the way of like combat, more so just scouting. After this, we have the Warhound Scout Titan. This is the more iconic one. It kind of looks like a dog. By the way, its like knees are bent backwards, and it has like a canine-shaped mouth, like head, helmet. Like, I don't know how to say it. It just looks like a dog. But these were very common during Horus Heresy and into the 40k. They are only allowed to operate in teams of 2. And the reason is Adeptus Terra, after the horrors that Horus let loose on the galaxy, decided, yeah, these things don't need to be operating in packs of 10 terrorizing civilians. Next up is the Direwolf Heavy Scout Titan. This is the in-between of the Warhound to Reaver. They're heavily armored, but they retain some of the like imagery of a Warhound Titan. They have things like, you know, their pent-mounted weapons or their arms are mega bolters. Yeah, they offer defense against knights pretty much. And then they have a neutron laser predominantly, but some of them have a volcano cannon mounted on their back. These things are insane looking, and they usually can find... Okay, so just getting a little bit off topic here, the volcano cannon is usually on a Reaver class Titan. These are the only non-Reaver ones that are seen using them, and it can only use one, so I found that pretty cool. Next up is the Reaver class Titan. It's a medium Titan, but it's also the smallest of the battle Titans. It is way more durable than a Warhound, and it can take like double the damage before succumbing than a Warhound. It is probably because of the unusual placement of the Titan's plasma generator on the back of the main carapace, whereas in most Titans the generator is located in the core, hence the term power core. Funnily enough, the placement ensures the Reaver Titan can take more frontal damage than other Titans of like same approximate class, but it's at a severe disadvantage when it comes to cluttered environments. It stands like 83 feet tall, the Warhound's like 56, so this thing is big, and it has like much more like loadout options, and also has the multi-rocket launchers on its carapace, the big thing you usually see on top of them. The Reaver Titan is also decent at close range. It's a very effective in like Titan scale melee battles because the power core being on the back. It is becoming rarer and rarer in Imperial armies, and it's heavily thought to have been lost, the ability to make these. So the Mars pattern Reaver Titan carapace mounts a multiple rocket launcher, turbo laser destructors on each arm, whereas the Lucius pattern bears the rocket launcher of arms carrying a volcano and Gatling blasters. So there's some variety to how this is run. This thing also sits in at 2,200 points on the tabletop. Just throwing that out there, this thing is chunky. Then into some of the Titans we don't know much about. We have the Commando class that was deployed by the Collegia Titanica during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. The Punisher class Titan were rare even in the like main era of Titan warfare. A Punisher class Titan, the Modus Destructor, was deployed to Olinor Prime during the War of the Beast in the mid 32nd millennium to defend the Adeptus Mechanicus command center established on that world during the Imperial invasion. The Modus Destructor was armed with 2 Teslan accelerators and 2 undersling plasma annihilators. This thing was a beast. I wish we had like more of these like offshoot ones and nothing else Adeptus Titanicus, or I guess now is the like Horus Heresy spin-off game. But yeah, these were really cool. The Apocalypse Battle Titan, it's a very rare form of Battle Titan. It was deployed during Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. It was noted to have fought during the battles of Thramis Crusade with the Legio Victorum. There's not a whole lot known about it. I couldn't really even find pictures of this, so yeah. The Carnivore Battle Titans are next, and they're another very rare one, deployed during, you could probably guess the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. It saw heavy action in the Battle of Beta Garmon, as known as the Titan Death during the Heresy. It stood somewhere between the Reaver Titan and the Night Gaunt class Titan. Next up is the Mirage Battle Titans. Again, not a lot known about these things. It is comparable in size and firepower to Carnivore class or Warlord Titan. It was deployed during Great Crusade and Horus Heresy. Not much is known besides that. Probably my second favorite is the Warbringer Nemesis Battle Titan, and it stands between Reaver and Warlord in size, and he's used by various Titan legions. The thing just rains explosive death on the foes. The immense war machine is designed to obliterate the largest and most indomitable enemies at extreme range. The Quake Cannon on its back is capable of demolishing fortresses or even felling other Titans with a single gargantuan shell. Similarly, the Titan's myriad other armaments allow it to wreak ruin on aircraft, armor columns, and massed infantry formations. It's also renowned for their bellicose machine spirits, with numerous Ben Herrick canticles. Speaking of the Titans locking onto targets and assuming the firing position before the Tech Adept crews are even aware of the approaching threat. So yeah, it uses AI. Let's just glance over that right to the one that I want to buy at some point, the Warlord Battle Titan. This is probably the most iconic one. It looks like a giant Imperial Knight to some people, but it is so much more deadly. And there is a lot about this. So pretty much they are larger and more powerful type of Battle Titan than its counterpart, the smaller Reaver class. They appear to be the most common class of Battle Titan used by the Titan legions, and many Forge worlds field their own patterns. The Warlord is much larger than the aging Reaver class Titan, putting its height at roughly 108 feet tall. The Warlord Titan is also able to withstand a great deal more damage than the Reaver. However, there is a considerable conflict in the Imperium records concerning this matter. Warlord Titan was also listed as approximately 110 feet tall during the scale diagram in the Warhammer 40k Apocalypse rulebook. Other accounts have stated it to be as large as 656 feet. So there's a lot of inconsistencies with how tall this thing is. It's equipped with void shielding, and it can wield things, just all sorts of weapons. There's a list on here, but some of them include a Mauler bolt cannon, lascan turrets, volcano cannons, laser blasters, and we also have, there's a specialist class of this, also called the Psi Titans, which uses psychic weaponry for use against demonic entities. Coming up next is the War Master Heavy Battle Titans. It's a, heavy battle titan. It stands at 134 feet, equipped with Suzerain class plasma destructors. Then they also have the Revelator missile launcher and a pair of turbo laser destructors. It was, this thing is a beast. But what's funny is that the Mechanicum kept knowledge of this Mighty God engine from the rest of mankind. For, honestly, if this thing ever came out, it would just be used to destroy. Pretty much, it will only come out whenever the Forge World, the Mechanicum's Forge World, that is, stood at the precipice of extinction. Yes, there's a model for this. No, it was not widely used. Then you got the War Master Iconoclast Heavy Battle Titan, which is more of a, close-range melee combat one. It was the first emerged during the Horus Heresy. Many of both sides of the Civil War presumed it simply a retrofit of standard War Master class Titan. In appearance, the two Titans are similar, based on as they are upon the same chassis and possess a similar defensive and offensive capabilities. Yet it is the beating heart of the Iconoclast that sets it apart, for within each one of it dwells a machine spirit of noticeable ferocity. Its lust for war and bellicose demeanor far more akin to that of a frenzied animal than that of the Anima House within other God engines. It just wrecked in melee combat. It had the Krillish Siege Drill, Flamers, Melta Cannon, Underslung Gatling Burst, Desolator Chainsword. It was used in a lot of close range melee combat. Next up, we have, this one's probably one of my favorite ones to look at. It's the Emperor Titan, the one that has the giant cathedral thing on its head. These things are just insane, as they are loaded to the brim with pre-installed weapons, and their mounts can handle Titan weapons too big for even other battle Titans. They do not carry any of the close combat weapons, as their sole purpose is just extreme firepower. They are exceedingly rare and can crush many weaker war engines. This type of Titan has legs so large they can house a full company of Adeptus Mechanicus or Astra Militarum troops for defense and assault instances. These Titans stand up to 150 meters or 492 feet tall. More than a war machine, these tremendous Titans are also icons of worship to the Imperial Cult Mechanicus, and they can be seen as an avatar of the Omnissiah. Now, if you played the first Dawn of War, in Winter Assault, the planet Lorn 5 houses the fallen Mars pattern Imperator class Emperor Titan Dominatus. And then also in like Dark Crusade, you can fire the Hellstorm cannon. But yeah, this is just scale. They have cities on their back. And finally, we have the Castigator class Standard Temple Construct Titan. They were originally lost on the Forge world of Chirionone during the Age of Technology and remain lost even when the planet was pulled into the warp thousands of standard years later. During its time in the warp, the Titan's artificial general intelligence made a pact with the Black Legion. So this is the Chaos ones. And there's a little bit about this, but I'm gonna be probably at some point covering this one, so I'll save that for another one. Just think, this is a lost, just, you know, massive Titan. And then, yeah, there's a lot I want to say about this, but that's gonna be saved for its own separate thing. But then we also, you know, we have the Imperial Knights, but they're not Titans. They're more like mobile suits for the Imperium, and that's its own separate thing. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.